हेलो फ्रेंड्स, कैसे हो सब लोग। आई होप ऑल ऑफ यू आर फाइन। सब अच्छा हो रहा होगा। um, तो इन टुडेज क्लास व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू, वी आर गोइंग टू सी द फील्ड ड्यू टू volume charge distribution. But before proceeding, we will have to know a basic about cell theorem. We will not discuss anything regarding the potential. We will restrict our idea up to the field right now only. So in this particular lecture, we will give a brief overview about how to calculate the field for volume charge distribution, and just one or two exemplary question how to apply principle of superpositions and cavity related questions. In the part 2, second lecture of this electric field due to volume charge distribution, I will come with many more questions and many more applications, right? But as of now, for today, I will strictly be limited to discussing the things which are related to theory. So we will have the theoretical understanding first. All right? Okay. So without wasting much time, let's move ahead. So here, what we can see here, that here this particular red sphere you were seeing, I'm assuming it as a uniformly charged spherical shell. Uniformly charged spherical shell. So I have taken 3 points over here. I will note them down. This is point P1, this is point P2, and here I am taking point P3. So I have taken 3 points, P1, P2 and P3. And point P1 is, let us say, small r1 distance away, which is greater than capital R. Capital R, I am taking the radius of this shell. And this point P3 is at distance r2 away from the center, which is less than capital R. So what we need to know here is that for point P1, so I will write for P1, I will just keep it in G-state format. You remember this much, that will be sufficient enough to solve questions. So for point P1, which is outside the shell, I will write the shell will behave as a point charge. The shell will behave as a point charge at the center. So what about for point P1? As I mentioned, for point P1, the shell is going to behave like a point charge concentrated at the center. That means if I draw the diagram for this P1 and the shell, so it will be like this is the center. There I have kept a charge Q, and from this charge Q away there is a point P1 at a distance of r1 from the center. So electric field due to this at point P1 will be simply equal to kq by r1 square. If I take the vector, then it must be r1 cap. As I have taken a positive charge, so the field must be in the radially outward direction, right? So that's briefly what about the interaction of this particular uniformly charged spherical shell as viewed from point P1. What about for P2? For P2, where is P2? P2 is on the surface. So on the surface also we will see the similar thing, that is that for P2 also the shell will behave like a point charge, right? Same situation will happen as we have seen for P1. That means if I want to see the interaction between this shell and point P2, so there is a charge Q at the center. I have taken a point P2 which is capital R distance away. So for this electric field at point P2, vector is equal to KQ by capital R square into, it will be R2 cap, R cap, sorry, capital R cap. That means the radially outward direction. like this. This is the direction of electric field, point P2. Right? What about P3 then? P3 point, you can clearly see that this point is inside, right? This P3 point is inside. So what happens briefly, if we think about a point inside, I will just take a point here as an example. And if you think about all sorts of different elements that are existing on this shell, if I take, say, let us say I'm taking this patch of charge here. So for this patch of charge, the electric field will be in radially outward direction. For this patch of charge, electric field will be in radially outward direction. For this patch of charge, it will be in radially outward direction like this. If I take a patch of charge here, then this electric field is radially outward direction. You can take a charge here also. For this also, you will see it is acting in the radially outward direction. So as a result, you can see, because of the vector sum that is involved at this particular point, for any inside point, electric field will be zero. That's a very, very important point. Right? So what will I write? That I have to write here a very important point, that for any point inside the shell, electric field is equal to 0. And that's a very, very important point. You should not forget this. Right? So I will write briefly over here that E inside is equal to 0, and I will mark it. And this point can be anywhere. Right? You can take the point here, you can take the point here, 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 irrespective of its position. At any point inside, electric field will be 0. And any point chosen on the surface or outside the shell will behave like a point charge concentrated at the center. That's it. You don't have to know anything else as of now. Let's move on. So now if I want to check the electric field due to uniformly charged spherical shell, so I will just distribute into 3 segments that I have done here already. You can say that I will write for outside point, I will take small r greater than capital R. In that case, I will designate as E outside, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. Right? On the surface, surface means small r is equal to capital R. So if I take on the surface, then E on the surface, ES will be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by capital R square. If I choose any inside point, at any point inside the shell, E inside will be equal to 0. So if I want to plot it graphically, suppose this is E versus R representation we are going to see, and this is the red marking you are seeing, I am notifying is R equal to capital R. So this point is basically R equal to 0. So this is the center and this is the boundary on the surface. As you can see that between the center and the surface, this is inside point. So here in this region, E inside equal to 0. So the existence of field will be first experienced where it is at the surface, right? And how much, what is the value? This ES we have already calculated to be KQ by capital R square. This is this value that we have just calculated. And as you are moving away, you can clearly see that as R tends to infinity, E tends to 0 following this equation, because here we can clearly see that E outside is proportional to 1 by small r square. So it will follow the normal inverse square variation and the graph will be like this. Right? So electric field versus R graph for a uniformly charged spherical shell from center to the surface, there is no electric field. The electric field first making its appearance on the surface, then it is slowly dying out proportional to 1 by r square. Alright, fine. This is easy, not a big deal. Let us move on. Next we are seeing uniformly charged conducting solid sphere. So now here this word is very important. This is a very significant word. We will have a separate lecture or probably a series of lecture for the properties of conductors and dielectrics. There we will study it in detail, but today we'll just know one property, that for conducting materials, charges exist on the outermost surface of the material. Right? Even if you keep one charge at any inside point, if you try to keep, it will automatically fly to surface and it will exist on the outer surface. There will be no charge residing inside. So Q inside is basically equal to 0. So as there is no charge residing inside the surface, all the charges are coming on the outer surface. So that means a solid conducting sphere is equivalent to uniformly charged spherical shell, isn't it? It is similar. There is no doubt at all. Here the charges are lying on the outer boundary for the shell, right? So the similar thing will happen here. So basically what we have to remember, uniformly charged conducting solid sphere is equivalent to shell. So now when we have drawn the equivalence, then quickly we will just feed the result. E outside is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by small r square. E at the surface is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by capital R square, considering it is R naught here, so I will write R naught square. And as usual, we all know that E inside, here in this case, E inside, it will be equal to 0. No charge inside, no field inside. Simple. So here when we are going to put it in graph, E versus R graph, we are going to feed, it is going to be similar. That means in this region, this is E inside because this red marking is small r equal to R naught. This is the center r equal to 0. Between the center and the surface, there is no field. First field is appearing here. And what is the magnitude? This magnitude here, E at the surface, is basically equal to KQ by R naught square, and as we are moving, E is proportional to 1 by R square. R tends to infinity, E tends to 0. So the field will slowly die out like this. Alright, fine. So this is easy, not difficult at all. Fine, no? Right. Next thing is uniformly charged non-conducting solid sphere. Now that is interesting. Non-conducting basically means we are trying to mention about the insulating materials. Okay. So for insulating materials, what we need to know as of now, there we have bound charge distribution. Bound charge distribution. What do we exactly mean by bound charge distribution? It means the charges cannot move. If you keep one charge over here at inside point, it will stay there. It cannot move, right? That's what exactly we mean. But on an average, grossly, a mere gross approximation is that the charges are ingrained in their own position. They cannot move. Unlike in case of conductor, if you give charges, they will automatically appear in the outermost layer. So what happens here? How will you see this particular case unfolding in front of us? What we will do now, so let us take this is the center. Try to understand. And I am taking a small sphere here. So from one sphere only I will make the understanding clear. Okay, so you just think about an onion. Suppose it is an onion with multiple layers, and outside I have taken a small crater of onion, right? And I'm taking a point over here at this point P, and I'm taking this smaller. The original radius is capital R. So I'm writing one line clearly that for all the shells with a radius R prime, and it is given as that R prime is less than capital R, greater than small r. In this zone, in this limit, whatever the shell we will take, point P will be an inside point. Try to think. Point P is an inside point. I will take an example. Let us take that I am taking this shell. Let us imagine we are talking about this shell. है ना? देखो, अब यहाँ पे when I am taking this shell, इसका रेडियस कुछ भी मान लो आप. Suppose it has radius r prime. तो आपको क्लियरली दिख रहा है कि यहाँ पे जो रेडियस है that r prime is basically greater than small r, but r prime is less than capital R. दोनों के बीच में है. So now if we think about this point P for this shell is an inside point only, no? So if it is an inside point, then can I say that electric field won't be contributed, electric field won't be contributed by those shells? ठीक है ना? Clear? Fine. So that means at point P, which particular sphere will contribute? This sphere will contribute. Except that any other shell will not contribute as per the consideration of shell theorem. Right? So that's the only point you have to keep in your mind. We are considering that the shell is uniformly charged. So can I write, with your permission, electric field at point P is equal to K into Q inside divided by small r square. What is this Q inside? Q inside is basically Q in is charge in the sphere of radius smaller. So this Q is basically charge in the sphere of radius small r. Can I calculate that? Yes, 100%. Why not? It is uniformly charged. So Q inside will be equal to total charge, let us say it is Q, divided by total volume, that is 4/3 pi capital R cube, into volume of that small sphere, that is 4/3 pi small r cube. So it becomes Q into small r by capital R whole cube. Now next point is what? Now P is on the surface of the smaller sphere, isn't it? We will check the diagram. देखो, P here, P is on the surface of the smaller sphere. So that means on the surface means we have already studied. On the surface means यहाँ पे देखो point क्या है? On the surface means it will behave like a point charge, right? So that means what will I write? That here electric field at point P will be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. थोड़ा careful रहना. Q inside, because charge hold by that small sphere is Q inside, divided by what is the radius? Smaller only. Radius is smaller, right? So if I feed the value, we will get 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Q in means Q into this. So that is Q into small r by capital R whole cube into 1 by r square. So the total result will give EP is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q into R by capital R cube. So this is the result that we will get, है ना भाई, right? So this is basically the field at any inside point. हाँ दोस्त, clear? Field at any inside point, and this particular calculation is strictly valid between where to where? This is from center to surface, right? क्यों? Because the moment you are coming out of the surface, if I take a point here, let us say, अब मान लो I am taking a point here, let us say x. By for the x, it will behave like a point charge. So that means if I want to show you that part also, that now suppose this is the non-conducting solid sphere that we are talking about, and यहाँ से मान लो, let us say here I am taking a point at this particular part, I am taking a point, this point is x, and now this is small r, इसका radius capital R है, this small r is greater than capital R. So now what I am comfortable to write here, that point x lies outside the uniformly charged, भाई थोड़ा हैंडराइटिंग पे फॉरगिव कर देना यार, दिस इज नॉट हैंडराइटिंग, दिस इज एंशिएंट लिटिल ग्रिप स्क्रिप्चर एनीवे, ठीक है ना? हाँ, कभी कायरो वायरो विजिट करोगे तो आपको समझ में आ जाएगी. So that is point x lies outside the uniformly charged solid sphere non-conducting. So that means the non-conducting solid sphere will behave like a point charge. It will behave like a point charge. So for this it is same, there is no difference between a spherical shell, whether it is a conducting solid sphere or non-conducting solid sphere. ये तो समझ में आ गया होगा कि if the point is lying outside, कोई difference नहीं है. तो here in this case E outside is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by small r square. There is no difference at all, right? And whatever the previous equation we got, ये जो equation मिला, if we put small r equal to capital R in this equation I'm talking about, तो देखो E surface, how much it is coming? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by capital R square. So everything is converging now to our elemental idea, whatever we got. So only difference that is happening here is inside point, and at inside point, from here, this is r equal to 0, this is r equal to capital R. In this region, what's happening here is basically, here E is proportional to small r. E is proportional to small r. I hope it is clear to you, right? So that means here it will have a linear variation. It will vary linearly, increase linearly like this, right? Because if you put r equal to 0, E will be equal to 0. If you put r equal to capital R, this is the field here. So what is the magnitude at the surface? At the surface, ES, we have just calculated, it is simply KQ by capital R square. At the center it is 0, and the moment you are coming outside, it is the same as we have seen in case of spherical shell, conducting solid sphere. That means it will have inverse square law variation, that is here it is proportional to 1 by R square, right? So this is basically the E versus R representation in case of non-conducting solid sphere, that you have to remember. And sometimes at times you have to remember this formula also, because we got E inside is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught QR by capital R cube. If you write Q is equal to volume charge density rho into 4/3 pi capital R cube, and if you fit this result here, then E will become rho R by 3 epsilon naught. Actually today I am not touching this formula because there are a whole lot of different cases to be discussed about this. We will do it later. So today I am keeping it just like that. Alright, fine. I hope this is clear to everyone. It's not difficult. Let's move on. So next we will see the application of principle of superposition. So how it is going to be applied, you see here on the left side diagram, you can see that there is a non-conducting solid sphere from where a cavity is made. So this is basically a non-conducting solid sphere with a cavity. A hole is scooped out basically. So now this situation, I am imagining it as that I have a complete solid sphere with positive charge plus a small solid sphere of this much dimension with negative charge. It's a simple superposition. So this situation is analogous to, here in this case we have a full solid sphere with positive charge, and this is a small solid sphere. I mean the dimension of this is equivalent to the dimension of cavity with negative charge. So that's the only relevance, you have to pick it out here. And with application of such thing, we will be finding out what can be the possible electric field at any point if it is asked to calculate. So that means E net here, if at any point it is being asked to calculate, we will write it as E due to positive, this is total, plus E due to negative, and this is only due to the dimension of cavity. Correct? So that's what we have to use. I will just work out two simple questions as I promised you. In today's class I will only clear the basic theory. I will not go into much detail. Right? The next lecture series I will discuss whole lot of different cases. So let us see one example here. So here I have taken a point P, and I am imagining that this radius is already given to be capital R. Here at a distance D, radius A, a cavity is being scooped out, right? So what is going to be the electric field at this particular point? So as I told ki, if I assume it is having a positive charge, so we will replicate this case as, this equivalent case will be कि भाई आपके पास एक सॉलिड स्फीयर है जिसके पास पॉजिटिव चार्ज है ना? ध्यान से देखो, आराम से एवरीवन. सो नाउ यहां पे निकालना है फील्ड आपको, छोटा कर देते थोड़ा. एट दिस पॉइंट पी, बाय डिस्टेंस कितना, फ्रॉम हियर टू हियर, आर डिस्टेंस. आई डिड नॉट मेंशन, दे ओनली मेंशनड. ठीक है, ये तो हो गई. प्लस और कुछ है? यस है, प्लस. नाउ व्हाट इज द अदर थिंग? द अदर थिंग इज दैट नाउ आई हैव अ स्मॉल स्फीयर आल्सो. बहुत ध्यान से, this is having negative charge, and the same point P I will take. मान लो this is point P. How much distance है वे? Quickly निकाल दो. देखो बहुत सिंपल है. This is from here to here. From here to here it is small r. From here to here D. ठीक है ना? तो from center to this distance, how much it will be? Simply r minus D. Right? And ironical thing is that for the bigger sphere as well as for the smaller sphere, P is an external point. So for P, this is a very important point I will quickly note. For P, both the bigger sphere and the smaller sphere will behave like point charges, है ना? Both for the bigger and the smaller sphere will behave like point charges. तो problem ही खत्म. So what is this distance that I told already? कि this distance is going to be r minus d. है ना दोस्त? Now one more point quickly. See, for the positive charge, electric field at point P will be in the radially outward direction, right? That will be along I cap. For the point P, due to the smaller one, electric field will be leftward direction, that is along minus I cap. ठीक है? So now let us do selectively. Let us imagine that the total charge on the bigger one is small q, right? So for the total, what is electric field at point P? So E due to plus vector at point P will be equal to kq by r square into I cap, because the field is in that direction only at point P. ठीक है भाई, clear? What is the electric field due to the smaller one, negative charge? कितना होगा? K into Q smaller, I don't know how much charge is there, I have to calculate, divided by R minus D, I'm sorry, R minus D whole square, direction क्या है भाई? Minus I cap. Alright, now let us go into calculation. फटाक से. So as I have written, E due to the minus 1 is equal to K into Q small divided by R minus D whole square of minus I cap. What you have to figure out here? I have to figure out what is the value of Q small or QS, whatever we have written. So how much? Uniformly distribute कर देंगे भाई. Q divided by total volume 4/3 pi capital R cube into what is the radius of the smaller one? Can you check? They have given to be small a. This is given to be small a. That is the radius of this smaller one. So I'll just simply write 4/3 pi into a cube. So it is coming to be small q into a by capital R whole cube. Let us substitute here. So from there, E due to negative will come K into Q A by capital R whole cube divided by R minus D whole square of minus I cap. So now when I superimpose them, I will get the electric field. Basically मुझे किसका चाहिए? I need the electric field due to this. This is the entire one. And from there, I have removed one cavity here. Right? So I need a field due to this portion, right? At this point P. Right? So for that, what I will do? Superposition principle we will follow, and we will write E net at point P vector will be equal to E due to positive 1 that we have already calculated, that is simply KQ by small r square I cap plus of this one K into Q A by R cube divided by R minus D square of minus I cap. So that will be your answer. You can further simplify it by doing the calculation, and I am not in a mood to do the calculation at all. Chalo, let's move on. Next one. So next one, what I am taking, same situation I am taking, there is no difference at all. I will just ease the values here a little bit. Let us say this is capital R, and I'm taking this is as this distance, I'm taking it to be, let us say this is R by 2. So this total is R by 2. So that means its radius is basically equal to R by 4. And there I've chosen a point X, and this point X is also at R by 2, which is on the left side. And there I have to find out the electric field. So again, I will do, if this is I was having positive charge, let us say ठीक है, तो व्हाट विल आई कैलकुलेट? फर्स्ट E ड्यू टू बिगर वेक्टर, कहां पे? एट x पॉइंट. नाउ x is inside point for the bigger sphere but outside point for the smaller sphere. ठीक है दोस्त, a little bit delicate, bit different from the previous case. So E due to bigger one, which formula I have to employ? It is simply KQR by R cube. All right, fine. Okay, so KQR by R cube, how much will I get? I will write KQ by R cube. Small r here it is given, center से distance कितना है बताइए भाई? R by 2 है ना, so that becomes KQ by 2R square. So this is E due to bigger. Fine, चलो कोई बात नहीं. So now let us consider on the smaller. For the smaller one, this is outside point, so E due to smaller, कहाँ पे निकाल रहे हैं हम लोग? X पे निकाल रहे हैं both. So E due to smaller will be equal to simply K into Q small divided by K into Q small divided by distance कितना है भाई? फटाक से पता कर लेते हैं. This is R by 2. Everyone note it carefully. This much is R by 2. This is R by 2. And up to the center, this is R by 4. So total distance small r is coming to be capital R, R by 2 and R by 2. This is capital R plus R by 4, that is 5R by 4. I hope it is clear to all of you. मैं फिर बता देता हूँ. This is R by 2. This is also given R by 2. So the total diameter is R by 2. उसका half center R by 4. So from point X to the center of the smaller one is coming to be 5R by 4. So we will substitute. Simply we will write 5R by 4 whole square. And in the meantime, we have to calculate what is Q small, because we have to replace here. So Q small is equal to total charge by total volume, that is 4/3 pi capital R cube into 4/3 pi R by 4 whole cube, because this is R by 4, right? Then at the end, what we have to do? So we will write E small is equal to K into Q R by 4. I mean, I will just quickly note down the factor. So this is coming to be 64, right? So Q by 64 will come. Sorry. So this will come to be Q by 64. We will take Q by 64 divided by 5R by 4 whole square. So next, just superposition. That's all you have to take, because for this one, for the bigger one, electric field will be in the radially outward direction. It will be in that direction, and for the smaller one, it is negative, so it will be inward direction, right? So this will be along minus I cap in this direction, and for the smaller one, this will be along plus I cap. This is in this direction. Attractive. Okay. So I hope you have enjoyed the session, and please do like, subscribe, and forward. Please cooperate. It's the only support that I can get from you, and if I can contribute in the way of your success, then definitely I will feel myself as lucky. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for the next update.